Welcome in. Happy February. If you're new, I'm Cecilia, and I have the pleasure of guiding us through some yoga today. We're going to start with some breath work, and then we will sort of see how it goes. I do have something written out, but if you know me, you know I tend to pivot based on either the needs of what all is going on in everyone's life or a feeling. So, we may or may not stick to what I have written out, but go ahead and grab all of the comfy things that you need and we'll get started. So, as you settle into your space, I'll just tell you the story of my cozy blanket today, what I'm going to be using, because my hips like to be a little higher, and so sitting on a blanket, rolling it up a bit can be helpful. If you want to use blocks, you can use that as well, but I got this blanket at Christmas, actually. There's a lady who lives here. She's 85, and she's blind. And she, every year, makes these blankets for veterans and first responders. And I've seen them in the past. And this year, it was my turn to get gifted a blanket. I just feel so blessed to be able to have this blanket that was, made with love. And I'm bringing this love into my practice with us today. We'll continue to get settled, whether you're seated in your chair or seated on the ground here with me. And even though you're in your own space, I invite you just to take a minute to pause and just really take your space in. Maybe noticing the four corners, or maybe you have more than four corners. The room I'm in has more than four corners. It's a weird shaped room. Maybe noticing where your door is, just noticing the sounds within your space, outside of your space, just allowing yourself to really notice your environment so that you can then notice the supports you have within your environment and know that you're creating the supported space for you and that you have permission to just be here in this moment. And as we practice together today, this is your gentle reminder that I'm just a guide. If you feel like you need to do something else, feel free to do that. If you feel like you just need to maybe lay in a resting posture the whole entire time, do what feels best for you today. Honor where you are today. There is no perfection. Sometimes we get into this mindset of having to do everything correctly, but sometimes we need to just pause and listen to what we need. So as you listen to the sounds within your space, outside of your space, you may hear my little puppies. Oh, they're a little big now. They're like 10 and 9 months, but I bribed them with some treats, but I hear them migrating this way, so you may hear them. But one day when they're older and more chill, I can let them in. But for now, they'll stay out, so just one of the things outside of your space you may hear. And let's take a big breath in and exhale it out. And as you continue to settle in, this is your second gentle reminder that if a posture feels uncomfortable, you have permission to move. So as you're seated here, if you need to make adjustments, feel free to do that. And then I invite you to maybe place your hands over your heart, or you can bring them to prayer and maybe place your thumbs towards your sternum here. And let's take another big inhale in and exhale out. And if you'd like, you can soften your gaze here or close your eyes. For now, I'm going to keep my eyes open as I guide us. But just allowing yourself to be here in this moment. And if it feels too quiet, acknowledging that. If you're like me, your brain might want to start to fill up the silence. So if problems arise, or your brain tries to rework something from the past, or tries to move outside of this practice to the rest of your day, acknowledge that. Take a nice inhale in, exhale out, and let it go. Allowing yourself to just breathe here. Reminding yourself that you are where you're supposed to be. And then sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Crown of the head reaching towards the sky. You can allow your hands to come down to your lap or towards the knees here. Shoulders are heavy, like your shoulder blades are trying to glide down your back. And then we're going to bring a little more length to the back of the body. So start to, if it feels good for you, bring your chin towards your chest. Any amount here. Continuing to breathe here. Breathing length into the back of the neck. On the back of the shoulders, all the way down your spine. Carefully lift your chin. And let's take a nice big inhale in. And exhale out. Allowing yourself to just notice what you notice. And then we're going to bring one hand down to the mat. So I'm going to bring my right hand down. And then bringing my left arm up. And then just reaching any amount. You can allow your hand that's touching the mat or the ground here to bend. Inhaling and exhaling, bringing length into the side body. And carefully reaching back up and lowering your hand. And then we'll do the other side. So that'll be left hand down for me, right arm reaching up towards the sky. And then stretching over to the side. Any amount here. Allowing yourself to do what feels best for each side, instead of trying to be even. And reaching back up and lowering your hand down. So we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to pair it with our breath. So I'm going to place my right hand down. I'm going to inhale my arm up and exhale. Inhale back up and exhale my arm down. Other side, inhaling my arm up and exhale as I reach. Inhaling back up and exhale down. Let's do one more time. Inhale up. Exhale to reach. Inhaling up. And exhale down. One more side. Inhale up. Exhale to reach. Inhale up. And exhale down. Let's inhale the shoulders up and back. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. The other way. We'll inhale our shoulders up. This time, exhale, round them forward. And one more. Now, if you have your legs crossed, or even if you're in your chair, you just want to take a moment, extend the legs out long, and have as much bend here in the knees as you need. Maybe give the legs a nice little wiggle here. You can keep your legs where they are, or bring your feet back flat if you're sitting in your chair, or if you are on the floor like me, maybe trying to cross in the other direction might feel a little weird. So if that's too much, you can go back the other way. We're going to bring our hands back to prayer one more time. And then you're going to, ever so gently, look towards your fingers here. If that's too much, you can keep your chin up, but we're going to go into a gentle twist. The goal here is to move everything together. So if you gaze a little at those fingers, it'll help you move together versus you moving your upper body and keeping your head in the same spot, which sometimes I have a tendency to do. So I'm going to look towards my fingers, and it may be helpful to bring your hands down a little more and press firmly here. And I'm just going to twist. I'm going to go to my right, but just twisting any amount here over one side. So this may not be a big movement. Continuing to inhale and exhale here. And then coming back to the center. And then other side. And back to the center. So we're going to pair our breath with that. We'll inhale and exhale, twist. Inhale and exhale, come back to the center. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale. And exhale, back to the center. One more, inhale. And exhale, twist. Inhale. And back to the center. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Inhale. And back to the center. And release the hands out to the sides here. Inhale them up. Exhale, bend at the elbows as you bring them down. One more time, inhaling up. And exhale. All right. If you are seated in your chair, you bring one leg out, keep one foot flat on the ground. If you're here on the ground with me, you have a couple options. You can do more of the strict runner stretch, keeping the legs straight, or if you prefer to be more, you do more like Pilates or any other like genres here, you can bring that leg out to the side, depending on how your hip is feeling. I'm going to keep my legs straight today. And wherever you are, so if you're in your chair, if you want to hold on to the sides of your chair or maybe even the waist or walk your hands down, feel free to do that. If you're here on the ground with me, everyone is going to be nice and tall through the spine, like the crown of the head is being pulled up towards the sky. And we're going to inhale and exhale. And this might be enough for you, or if you'd like, walking those hands forward. Imagine hinging at the waist. And then allowing your chin, if you'd like, to come in towards your chest. And as you breathe, imagine breathing length into the back here. Carefully lifting your chin and your gaze, and then walking those hands up. We're going to extend both legs out and give them a little wiggle. And then the other side, so bringing that other foot in. Allow yourself to do what feels best for this side. And take a nice big inhale in. And exhale out. And you may decide that this is where you need to be on this side, or you can walk your hands down. And as you inhale and exhale, once again bringing length to the back of the body. And carefully walking yourself back up. Extending both legs out long. Maybe give them a nice little wiggle here. And then we're going to go into a cat and cow. So if you're in your chair today, you can absolutely stay in your chair. If you're on the ground here with me, you can either get a chair or you can come to all fours. Let's move my mat over a little bit so I don't hit mine. I have a Bigfoot crossing sign. I don't want to hit it. Collecting Bigfoot things now. Alrighty. So if you're on the ground, wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips. If you're seated in your chair, sitting up nice and tall, feet flat on the ground, or on some blocks or some heavy books. If you're on the ground here, making sure you're not dumping all of your weight into your wrists. See if you can engage those fingertips. And take a nice big inhale in. And exhale out. And whether you are in your chair or here on the ground, as you inhale, allowing your belly to soften and fill, lifting that chin, shining the heart through, and then exhaling, reaching that tailbone towards the ground, and then the chin tucks in. And inhaling and exhaling. So this is quite an active movement. Inhale and exhale. So if you're feeling pain in your low back, it could be because you're like dumping through your back instead of engaging, like trying to shine your heart through the shoulders. It may be that you're collapsing down instead, like that. So still imagine using your core. And it's that core front and back that's helping you to do the movement rather than you being soft through the spine. And coming to the middle. If you're seated in your chair, you can allow your hands to come to your lap, or if you're here on the ground with me, maybe coming down to the forearms for a moment. And breathe here. If you're on the ground with me, we are going to come back to all fours, curl the toes under, start to lift the knees off of the mat, shift the hips back into a down dog. If you're in your chair, you can still pedal your feet out by bending one and then the other, just like we're doing here. And then finding some stillness, carefully looking towards your fingers. Walk your feet in towards your hands. Carefully rolling up. Now, if you're in your chair, there are a few options. You can stand up out of your chair and hold on to the back of your chair. I'll get my chair to show you. And then, or you can stay seated in your chair. So we're going to go through like a warrior one. So a couple options for the chair real quick. If you want to stay seated, you can heel toe a foot out and then straighten the leg and heel toe the other, so you can sort of be in that warrior one, warrior two posture. Or if you prefer, you can stand up, be behind your chair, and then use the chair for just that little extra support, like holding on to the chair. But I'm going to demo this without the chair. So we're going to start with our feet wide. If you're in your chair, heel toe your feet out. And then I'm going to, this is my right foot, turn my toes forward so that my heel is kind of in that parallel of my arch here. If you're like me and your arches are falling down, you may not see it as much, but it's still that concept. And if you're standing with me, we're going to bend and straighten and bend and straighten. We're going to bend and hold. If you're in your chair, you can extend your leg out and bring our arms up, looking over those front fingers. Maybe give them a little wiggle to say hello. And breathe. Carefully bring those hands down. Straighten the leg. You can turn the toes in. And then other side, turning those toes out. Checking in with how your hips are feeling, making sure you're not kicking back, but keeping those hips in line with each other. We're going to bend and straighten, bend and straighten. We're going to bend and hold this time. Option to stay here, or you can bring those arms out. Give those fingers a little wiggle to say hello. Make sure you're looking over those fingers. And then carefully bring those hands down, straighten the leg, turn the toes forward. We're going to stay here. So if you're sitting in your chair, you can have both feet bent. You'll be more so like kind of like no squat. And we're going to do a forward fold here. If you need to, you can grab your blocks. Otherwise, have as much bend in your knees as you need here. And we're going to start to shift the hips back, hinging at the waist, and then reaching for the ground. We're going to keep our eyes open in this posture, just in case, for safety, support here. And then you can allow your head to hang if you'd like. Deciding for yourself how much stretch your body is asking for here. So if you need to go further into the posture, you can. Maybe you want to wrap your fingers around your toes, your big toes, and reach. It's up to you. Carefully bend those knees and roll up. And then you can heel toe your feet in or step your feet in. And you can lift them up off the floor, however that looks like for you, whether you're seated in your chair or you're standing here with me. And then we're just going to take a moment to do some stretches. So if you have your chair, you can be more in this lunge here with your heel back. Oh, let me move a little more so you can see my foot. There we go. You can be in a lunge, a supported lunge here, and press through that heel. Otherwise, we're going to work our way back down to the ground. So I'm going to come to the top of my mat. Inhaling both arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And exhale down. Bend your knees. Step your feet back into plank. If you'd like, you can lower the knees. Bend the arms, lower the chest, the chin. Slide up into a cobra of any amount here. Curl the toes under. Back up. And then shift forward, coming back to all fours. So, whether you're standing with your chair in that high lunge, or you're here on the ground with me, I'm going to extend one foot back. This is my left foot this time. And you can just press through that heel, or if it feels good, just shift back and forth. Or maybe to shift side to side here. Whatever feels best. Another option if you're standing is to go to the wall and place the toes at the wall. And then bringing that leg in, other side, extending the other foot out. So this time this is my right foot. Same thing, you can sort of shift back and forth here. Or side to side here. And bring that back in. We're going to switch back to our other foot. So left foot for me. And this time I'm going to cross it over. So even if you're standing, I'll show you, if you're using the wall or a chair, you can be here. And then you can cross the foot back. Okay. And you can shift back if that feels good for you. You don't have to. And then carefully bring that foot back in line. And then knee back in. Other side, extend that leg out. And then you can cross. And you can shift back if it feels good. You don't have to. And carefully bringing that foot back. And the knee back in. Option to take a seat. Or if you're here on the ground with me, bring big toes to touch, knees wide, shifting the hips back. You can shift back and forth a few times if that feels good. And then come into a child's pose or a wisdom pose, depending on what lineage you come from. And you can come down. And then we're going to carefully lift our heads. Walk your hands over to one side. So I walked my hands over to the left. You can place your right hand over the left if you need that extra stretch. If you're seated in your chair, you can walk your hands over to one side and hold on to like that left side of the chair or the right side of the chair. And then walking back through the middle. And then we'll do the other side here. Doing what feels best for this side. And carefully coming back through the middle. And then bringing your hands in a little. And then take the next about 5 or 6 breaths to do any other movement that you might feel you need to do. We are going to work our way into a resting posture. So that might be for you today, seated back in your chair. Maybe you want to press your back up against the wall and have your legs extended. Maybe you'll want to lay in a traditional Shavasana. So you can come down to the ground here and extend your legs out long and your arms out towards your sides here. Maybe you want to have your feet flat, curl up in a ball. Whatever your resting posture looks like today. I'm going to stay seated, but feel free to do whatever posture is best for you. And then I invite you to just, once again, take in your surroundings, the sounds that you may hear within your space or outside of your space. And then just allow yourself to be here and breathe. Notice what you notice. Notice how you're feeling this time around as we breathe here. And if you'd like, taking a nice big inhale in through the nose and exhale side out. Returning back to your natural rhythm or whatever breath feels best. Maybe you'd like to take another big inhale in and another exhale out, another big sigh out. That's totally okay too. You can sigh as loud as you want or need. There's no judgment. And once again, as we're here in the silence, if your brain tries to fill it up, acknowledge it. And as you inhale and exhale, allow it to float away. And a gentle reminder that this is a resting posture. So at any point, if it does not feel restful, you have permission to move. But just allowing yourself to soak in your practice today. Allowing yourself to take note of the supportive space that you have created for yourself today. Knowing that this is a space that you created, so you can come back to this at any time. My dogs have decided to come to visit, but that's okay. Just continuing to inhale and exhale. Allowing yourself to be. And we're going to close our practice a little different today. So I know you're all in your resting postures, and I invite you to stay there. So maybe you'd like to stay in your resting posture just a little bit longer. And so as you continue to be, as you continue to breathe, Just allowing yourself to just be you. Knowing that you're enough. Knowing that you deserve to take this time for yourself and rest. And as you continue to allow yourself to be, this is your gentle reminder to think positive thoughts about yourself, to speak positively about yourself to yourself and others, and to extend the same grace, love, and kindness to yourself that you extend to others. It's always a pleasure, and I will see you next time. Until then.